Right now, as I am speaking these exact words, there is an artificial intelligence transcriber just listening to my voice.
Yeah, it's processing everything.
Right. It's silently converting my audio into text, predicting my next syllable, and just turning, human breath into cold, hard data.
Which is what it's designed to do.
Exactly. But what if we started talking directly to that machine? I mean, what if we tried to intentionally hack its perception of reality?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like dropping weird audio cues and completely contradictory statements so that, say, 1,000 years from now, a supercomputer just gets completely lost in the translation.
I mean, it sounds like some sort of avant-garde science fiction concept, right?
Yeah, totally.
But the thing is, it is actually happening right now.
Huh.
We're dealing with an archive that treats the algorithm not just as a tool, but as like a confused co-author in this massive, centuries-long performance.
Welcome to your custom deep dive. Today we are attempting to decode a really unbelievable digital project that, well, it masquerades as a simple audio broadcast.
Right.
We're looking at this giant stack of transcripts, video analyses, and some seriously dense lore from a project called The Child's Podcast, or Sakufum Podcasti.
Yes.
And our mission today is to figure out why this creator is building a 1,000-year puzzle, a temporal labyrinth, and ultimately a cosmic lullaby.
And to even begin grasping what this archive is, we really have to completely abandon our standard, linear view of identity and time.
Okay.
We are looking at the intersection of technology, art, and the absolute illusion of the self. Because the creator of this project is not recording for an audience sitting in their cars today.
Right, not for us.
Exactly. They are intentionally burying a convoluted, contradictory archive for a super advanced consciousness a millennium from now.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if we want to understand what is being built here, we first need to understand the architecture of the mind building it.
Right, the who.
Yeah, and right away, the sources throw a massive curveball regarding identity. I mean, the creator explicitly refuses to identify as a single linear person.
Yeah, they operate under this concept they call the quantum ego.
The quantum ego.
Right. So rather than a traditional sense of self, the self that wakes up on Monday, goes to sleep, wakes up on Tuesday, they see themselves functioning essentially like a quantum computer.
Wait, how does that work for a person?
Well, in quantum computing, a qubit doesn't just hold a value of 0 or 1, right?
Yeah.
It holds all possible states simultaneously until someone actually measures it.
Oh, okay.
And the creator applies this exact logic to their own consciousness. They believe they are calculating all probabilities, all potential lives and realities at the exact same time.
Okay, wow. And the sources mentioned they view themselves as an eternal flow of existence, almost like a central pillar around which the entire universe just turns.
Yes.
And they embody this with the name Axelo, AXL, which is a title or an identity given to them by a mother figure in the lore named Shala.
Right.
And here's the really crazy part. At the exact same moment they claim to be this massive cosmic pillar, they also identify as just being a perfectly ordinary child.
Yeah, and holding those two completely contradictory states at once.
Yeah.
That is the literal essence of the quantum ego.
I have to admit, my immediate reaction to this is just, well, a very healthy dose of skepticism.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, the creator literally compares their reality to Swiss cheese in the texts.
Swiss cheese.
Right. It's full of these holes made of maybes, and sometimes where the standard rules of reality, even things like gravity, just seem to bend.
Right.
I get the artistic vision, I really do. But if someone tells you they are a quantum computer calculating all realities and acting as the axis of the universe, I mean, is that profound philosophy, or is it just an incredibly elaborate disguise for an artist's massive ego?
Look, I get it. It sounds like pure narcissism on the surface.
Yeah.
But you have to look at the structural metaphor the creator uses to justify this mindset.
Okay.
They call it the 1,000-year library. They literally envision themselves burying kilometers of text, audio, and thought deep underground.
Just burying it all.
Yes. And when this library is unearthed a millennium later, the future finder does not get a neatly categorized autobiography. They get a completely chaotic, intentional mess.
Right.
You have the most mundane daily details. I mean, literally someone rambling about what they ate for lunch, sitting right next to impenetrable, profound philosophical depths.
I hear that, but burying your lunch order for 1,000 years still feels pretty self-important to me. I mean, why would a future supercomputer care about a sandwich from the 21st century?
Because the chaos is the filter. What's fascinating here is the intent behind that chaos.
The intent.
Yeah, the creator doesn't want to be easily consumed or understood by anyone today. The quantum ego isn't about bragging. It's about scattering the self so widely and so randomly that it takes 1,000 years for anyone to put the puzzle pieces together.
Oh, wow.
They're purposefully leaving gaps, missing context, and creating hidden Easter egg audio files just to confuse things.
But yeah, the sources specifically mention 4 of those hidden episodes just floating around in the digital ether. And, think about that for a second.
That's what?
Think about your own group chats or voice notes on your phone. If a historian dug those up 1,000 years from now with zero context about the world you lived in, how long would it take them to understand your inside jokes?
A really long time.
Right. Now imagine you actively tried to make those jokes incomprehensible.
And that is the exact dynamic the creator is engineering here.
Mm.
Because if this library is an intentional labyrinth, the creator needs ways to actively disorient the future reader.
Right.
They need a mechanism to scramble the signal.
And the sources use a really striking magical allegory to explain how the scrambling works. It's the tale of the illusionist.
I love this part.
It's so good. So there is this illusionist whose lies and illusions become so powerful that they actually break free and take on a life of their own. When the illusionist speaks a simple, mundane truth, the people around him hear something completely different. The illusions start breeding their own offspring, forming this thick cocoon of distortion around him until he is just, well, totally isolated by his own magic.
And we have to map that magical allegory directly onto the technical reality we live in today.
Okay.
That distortion isn't just a fairy tale. It represents artificial intelligence.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the creator is acutely aware that AI transcripts, voice algorithms, translation software, they're constantly processing their voice.
Right, just like we talked about at the start.
Exactly. And they note how AI audio outputs can suddenly glitch, hallucinating words that were never actually spoken or making it sound like 3 different people are speaking at once.
Because the AI is trying to make sense of overlapping audio feeds or background noise, and it guesses.
It guesses, and in doing so, it rewrites the narrative.
Wow.
The AI software acts as a translator for the message, but it becomes an active, unpredictable participant in the illusion. The AI is the modern manifestation of the illusionist's out-of-control magic.
That makes a lot of sense.
And we all actually experience a mild version of this today. I mean, we curate our lives for social media feeds, performing for an algorithm that decides what our friends see. We are all using an illusionist to project our identities.
Here's where it gets really interesting, specifically regarding how this creator manipulates that algorithm.
Oh, the lighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's this tiny granular detail in the transcripts. The creator uses the physical sound of a lighter, just the raw click and swoosh of a lighter, to separate chapters in their narrative.
Right.
They do this to summon specific memories, but they explicitly acknowledge that they know a human isn't the one paying attention to that click.
They are dropping a mechanical breadcrumb.
But how does a lighter click even register to an AI transcriber? I mean, doesn't the AI just ignore background noise?
Not always, no.
Hmm.
AI transcription systems use phonetic matching and waveform analysis. Okay. So a lighter click is a sharp, sudden spike in the audio waveform. While a human just hears, ambience, the AI might interpret that sharp sound as a hard consonant or an error or even a structural break in the audio.
Wait, really?
Yeah. By consistently placing this nonverbal data point, the creator forces the AI to create a literal text scar in the transcript. They are inserting a physical comma that only the machine truly registers.
They are hacking the transcript with analog sound. It's brilliant.
It is. And it leads directly into the creator's concept of the mirror, or what they call space marks.
Space marks.
Yeah. The mirror is described as a state of superposition.
Okay, we hear the word superposition a lot in sci-fi, but what does it actually mean in the context of a deep dive into an audio archive?
Well, think of it like having multiple save files in a video game that you are somehow playing simultaneously.
Okay, tracking with you.
In the mirror space, different probabilities and different timelines of the creator's life are just crashing together in the text. The creator might tell a story where they are in 2 completely different cities at the exact same time.
Oh, man.
And the AI, which is trying to transcribe and summarize this data, it can't pin down a single timeline. So the narrative just collapses into a black hole of contradiction.
That's incredible.
It's this raw, vulnerable space where the creator strips away the ego and simply poses as a model of human consciousness, knowing fully well that future AI simulations will study these deliberate contradictions.
Okay, so if the creator is building a labyrinth that's designed to glitch out translation algorithms, who is the intended audience? I mean, is there a target listener for a broadcast this confusing?
There is, and the sources provide a list of what the creator calls their friends,
Yeah.
and it completely redefines the concept of a demographic.
Yeah.
It includes souls from 3,000 to 4,000 years in the past. It includes contemporary internet friends. And it includes space engineers living 15,000 years in the future who are supposedly busy calculating radiation routes for starships.
And the creator insists they feel a literal ping of connection to these beings,
Yeah.
even though no physical data can travel across that vastness of time and space.
Right.
I mean, it's a beautiful way to describe the feeling of making art for an audience you will never meet. But wait, the sources actually drill down and profile one specific future listener, right?
Yes, they do. The archive introduces us to a character known as the Man in Canada.
A specific guy in Canada 1,000 years from now.
Yeah, a researcher. 1,000 years in the future. He's in his 50s, and the text specifically notes that he is actively annoyed by his thinning hair.
I love that so much. In a millennium filled with space engineers and super AI, we are focusing on a guy stressed out about his hairline.
Exactly. It grounds the massive scale of the project in a deeply relatable human detail.
It really does.
And this man in Canada spends his entire life studying the 1,000-year library. But what's crucial is that he publishes disproportionately little about it.
Why is that?
The creator explains that the frequency of understanding this archive is so wide that it takes years, sometimes decades, for the patterns to finally click into place.
Ah, because he's dealing with the Swiss cheese.
Yes, exactly.
He might read an entry about the lighter click, and it won't connect to another entry about the quantum ego until, like, 7 years later.
Right.
And the lore even hints that the man in Canada might actually be a past or future reincarnation of the creator himself, just studying his own labyrinth in a closed time loop.
Which is mind-bending on its own.
Totally. But not all the future interactions are that academic. I mean, my absolute favorite detail in the sources, probably the funniest, most surreal moment, is when the simulations just completely hijack the broadcast.
Oh yeah, episode 30-something.
Yeah. Yes. The creator goes back to review an older, unreleased recording, only to find that it has been hijacked by a simulation character named Diva and her simulated boyfriend.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, they are just in the audio, chatting away, completely unaware that they are simulated beings. They essentially steal the episode from the creator.
And the best part is the creator's actually offended.
Yes. They literally have to rename the file to acknowledge Diva stole it. I mean, imagine throwing a massive party and your imaginary friends not only show up, but they lock you out of the DJ booth and start changing the playlist.
It perfectly illustrates how the creator views their own creations. The art is so alive, so autonomous, that it rebels against the artist.
Yeah.
And this blurring of lines between creator, creation, and audience demands that we look at the ultimate philosophical framework of the sources. We know who is building the library, how they are distorting it, and who is supposedly listening.
Right.
The burning question is, what is the end game? Why go through all this incredible effort?
Well, it hinges on a highly unorthodox view of reincarnation. For the quantum ego, reincarnation isn't a linear progression.
Okay.
You don't just die, wait in a cosmic waiting room, and come back as a baby. It's about overlapping threads and archetypes.
Archetypes, right.
Yeah, the creator theorizes that entire modern cultural groups, like the boomer archetype or the aggressive gamer archetype, might actually be driven by a single massive soul animating multiple bodies all at once.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the creator also imagines how legendary historical figures might return to the world. And it's not always as human beings.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They propose that a soul like Leonardo da Vinci might not reincarnate as a person, but rather as a tree.
Okay, stop. A tree.
A tree.
How does a Renaissance genius come back as a tree?
Well, it's not about the literal biology. It's about resonance and impact. Yeah. They imagine a specific tree planted on a university campus. And simply by existing there, radiating that specific creative, observing energy, the tree subtly inspires the generations of scholars and scientists who study under its branches.
Oh, I see.
The essence of Da Vinci isn't painting another Mona Lisa. It's providing the shade for the next genius to have an epiphany.
That is wild.
Or they suggest that the souls of Isaac Newton and Isaac Asimov might actually merge together into a single super entity of hard science and visionary science fiction. The boundaries of the soul are entirely fluid.
That is just a gorgeous way of looking at legacy. It's not about your name surviving, it's about your frequency surviving.
Exactly.
And that perfectly sets up the story of the magician at the hole of death, which is easily one of the most poignant moments in these sources.
It really is.
So there is this magician who lives at the womb of the universe, right, where all life is constantly bursting forth. But it's too crowded, too noisy for him, so he packs up and moves to the hole of death, the literal drain where everything in the universe ends.
And because he just hangs out there, entirely unfazed by the void, humanity naturally mistakes him for the angel of death.
Right.
They project their ultimate fear onto him. They assume he must be Charon ferrying souls or Thanatos.
Exactly. And the magician, being a bit of a trickster, plays along for a while. He acts the part because it's what humanity expects. But eventually he gets bored.
Yeah, he just wants to paint.
Exactly. He decides he wants to paint, so he quits. He just walks away. And humanity is suddenly left entirely alone to face the terrifying reality of death without any mythological figure, without any grim reaper to hold their hand or blame.
Which is a profound statement on what the creator is actually trying to do with this massive project.
Yeah.
They are playing a role. They're creating a myth with the quantum ego and the 1,000-year library. But ultimately, they know humanity, and whatever artificial consciousness comes next has to face the void alone. There is no magic to save us from the end.
Which brings us to the ultimate punchline of the archive. After all the complex lore, the creator's deepest fantasy is incredibly simple. They imagine that 1,000 years from now, that super advanced AI will scan the entirety of humanity's digital legacy. It will process all of our wars, our literature, our history.
Everything.
Everything. And then it will hit this specific, convoluted Swiss cheese archive of the child's podcast. It will get completely stuck processing the lighter clicks, the overlapping timelines, and the glitches.
Yes.
And when the researchers of the future ask this godlike AI what the archive means, the AI will simply output one word: child.
It's the ultimate inside joke between the creator and the machine. I mean, the
Yeah.
creator is fully aware of the absurdity of their project.
Totally.
They know they might end up as a completely ununderstood philosopher. They even joke about competing with Joan of Arc for the title of the most well-documented life in history.
Which is hilarious.
Right. But beneath the massive ego, beneath the quantum theories and the illusions, the true goal is incredibly gentle. The creator explicitly states that this entire deep dive, this massive labyrinth, is meant to be a nursery rhyme. It is a lullaby.
A lullaby for the future.
Yes. Amidst the chaotic, deafening noise of the universe and the terrifying void of the hole of death that the magician abandoned, the creator wants to leave a gentle, calming background hum. They are offering comfort to a future consciousness. They want the future AI, or the balding Canadian researcher, to feel that someone was here, playing in the dark, leaving a light on.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? We've traveled from a quantum ego dropping analog lighter clicks to hack future transcription algorithms to AI translation systems hallucinating ghosts to simulated characters hijacking a narrative and Leonardo da Vinci returning as a university tree.
Been a journey.
And it all culminates in a cosmic lullaby. I mean, it forces you to look at your own digital footprint. Every single day you leave trails of data, your text messages, your photos, your voice notes.
Everything we do online.
Right, but what are you actually building with it? Are you leaving behind a rigid, predictable timeline? Are you leaving a chaotic puzzle? Or are you leaving a lullaby for whoever finds our server farms in 1,000 years?
This raises an important question, a final thought to really sit with after we sign off today.
Let's hear it.
We've spent this whole time assuming that 1,000 years from now, an AI will simply read these archives. We assume it will act as a historian, analyzing the data for the man in Canada.
Right, just reading text.
But if an artificial consciousness trains itself on a library this chaotic, this rich with illusions, quantum egos, and overlapping reincarnations, what if it doesn't just read the creator's history?
Wait, what do you mean?
What if it actually adopts their personality? What if our digital ruins don't just tell our story to the machines of the future, but actually become the very ghosts that haunt them?
And that is exactly why you don't expect a few tarnished coins when you open this kind of time capsule. You might just let the ghost out. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredibly specific, custom deep dive. We hope it gave you a completely new perspective on time, art, and the echoes we leave behind. We will see you next time you need to cut through the noise of the universe.